Okay. Let's just get it on right now, shall we? Y'all already know what time it is, right? Another series has wrapped up for the Guardians, which means it's time for another series recap. What is going on, everybody? Crazy Dog back with another Cleveland Guardians series recap, series preview live stream. Yeah, was it the Cavs? They lost today, of course. Very aggravating, but season's over. On to the playoffs. But now the Guardians had a nice little 6-game, 2-series homestand. And they were coming off a 3-6 road trip to start the year. It was very important for them to have a good homestand. And that's pretty much what they did. Of course, I talked about them sweeping the White Sox, which was, it's cool, but it's the White Sox. So it's like, wow, you beat up on the little kid. Congratulations. So, following that series, they once again faced the Royals, right? A team that has given us fits, both at home and on the road, the last couple years. And the way I see it, they ain't going anywhere anytime soon, as long as they have Bobby Witt. And then you have Vinny and, the other guys that they have over there. They have a decent pitching staff in the AL Central for many, many years, especially when they start spending money like they were last year. I don't really did that much this year in terms of spending. The only guy I know they added for sure was Estevez. That was, I think, that was this year. Because Estevez was on the Angels and then he went to the Phillies. Yeah, okay. Had to refresh myself. So, to start off this 3-game series against Kansas City to wrap up the homestand, we had Tanner Bybee on the mound. Of course, he should have started opening day against Kansas City in Kansas City. But of course, he got a case of the bubble guts. So, they passed him over and they put Ben on the mound, and he did good. So, in Tanner's, second meeting against the Royals this year, he was phenomenal again. 4 2/3 innings, 3 hits. He did walk 4, but he also had 4 Ks, and he didn't allow any runs. In fact, we allowed 0 runs the entire game. Against Chris Bubich. Of course, I streamed this game. You guys, if you watch the stream, you know did I stream this game? No, I didn't. Because when we had that loser, Valika, this dude couldn't do nothing. Oh, what happened? Oh, Shifley. Damn it. Got a freaking ESPN update talking about hockey, and I thought it was a Blue Jackets. Nope. Freaking Jets. Gotta love it. He is actually hitting dongs. Love to see that. And we would then get a run from Angel Martinez on a sac fly. And then Stephen Kwan would add an RBI. And then J-Ram would reach on a fielding error. And then Carlos Santana would add in a run of his own. So that's lovely to see right there. You love to see all that. You really, really do. They stacked some insurance runs, and they made the Royals pay for it. The runs were all tagged on to Bubich and Stratton. That's tough. And of course, OBS decided to troll. So I will repeat what I just said. Yeah. Tim Herron, 2-0, 180 ERA. Bubich, 2-1, 0.96 ERA. In case you guys didn't hear that. Guardians, 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors. Royals, 5 hits and 3 errors, no runs. Beautiful. But yeah, the 3 errors, not a recipe for success. especially against a Guardians team that can and will make you pay, like Tim Misney, if you let them. You give them any chances to do damage, and they will. Especially if it's against the top of our order, because man, the top four is quickly pulling away from the bottom five in terms of how awesome they are. Because after you get really through like the cleanup hitter, maybe depending on who it is, the number 5 hitter, the lineup just takes a nosedive mostly. So that was game 1. Good way to start the series. Good tone setter. Because game 2, we had Luis Ortiz on the mound. And he hasn't been good this year. Now facing Michael Lorenzen, who has been all right for the most part. I was curious to see how we would do. And believe it or not, we actually we did just fine. But I was most impressed with Luis Ortiz. Because in his first start at home this year, he pitched a gem. 5 2/3 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 2 walks, and Ks. Career high, I think, for him. 10 strikeouts, 10 punchies. Wow. His stuff was there too. It was all over the place. It was nice in a good way. They couldn't really lock onto it. The only run he gave up was a Vinny Pasquantino homer in the 4th. That was a solo shot. That gave him the lead, and then the Guardians would strike right back with a Gabriel Arias RBI single. And then the next inning, Jose get a sac fly, made it 2-1. And then Gabe would strike again with another Oppo Taco dinger, his second in 2 days, because the last one was an Oppo Taco. He loves tacos. Yeah. And he made it 3-1. There's a solo shot, though, this time. And then just for good measure, Angel Martinez would hit a ground rule double off the left center field. And then a wild pitch by Sam Long would add another run. Great stuff there. So yeah, it's 6-1 after all that. But then we bring in Clase, and this guy's going through his Cody Allen arc now. Right? He's decent, but my God, he will stress you out. This dude could not get an out to save his friggin' life. I was waiting for him to blow it, as he would give up 2 runs in this inning. Salvador Perez would make it 6-2 with an RBI single. And then Michael Garcia would get a sac fly to make it 6-3. And as far as how the whole 9th inning went for Mr. Clase, you know, if this keeps up, I'm going to start calling him Class A. Because he's turning into ass. Which is not great for a closer. And it makes me wonder how long until he gets usurped by somebody else. Like Cade. Right? Like, man, if this is how he's going to be this year, the Yankees and the Tigers legit broke this guy. For real. So Bobby Witt would start off with a single, and then Pasquantino had a single, and then Perez would get a single to score a run, and then Massey would get a single, and then hallelujah, he finally gets an out, getting Kevin Biggio to strike out. As my camera froze. We back, of course. Happens every freaking video. Biggio would strike out, and then Garcia would get a sac fly to score a run. Made it 2 down. And then he would get MJ Melendez to ground out. So he locked in after giving up, what would that be, 4 straight hits? We would win 6-3. And yeah, he's rocking a 7.71 ERA. After last year, he was able to maintain a point, like a sub 1 ERA pretty much the entire year. Yeah. His postseason flopping is translated to the regular season this year. Not good stuff. Not good at all. Lorenzen, 5 and 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks, and a homer. Luis Ortiz, like I said, he pitched a freaking gem and a half out there. 5 and 2/3, 1 hit, 1 run, 2 walks, 10 Ks, and a homer in his first start at home. Not a bad way to introduce yourself to your new home fans, right? Not bad at all. So the win goes to Luis. He's 1-2 with a 6.06 ERA. Lorenzen takes the loss. He's 1-2 with a 3.71 ERA. And the best part is, Luis now has something positive to look back on, and when he watches himself on film, to see what he did, and then if he can build off of that. Because if we see this Luis Ortiz until at least Shane Bieber and John Means get back, we gonna be all right. We go from having really 2 very reliable and 1 semi-reliable pitcher to 3, maybe 2 really good and then 2 semi-reliable. IB and Gavin are amazing. Yeah, he's semi-reliable, and then Luis would then go up to that category, leaving poor Logan as the only low-key replaceable feeble pitcher we have. Now, if Shane and John Means returned tomorrow, I think it's pretty easy. You put those 2 in the rotation, and you move Ben and Luis to the pen. It's that simple. We could just simply get rid of freaking Ben. Well, again, thank God I'm not the GM because that'd be a tough decision to make. So we take game 2, and great stuff. Guardians, 6 runs on 9 hits. Royals, 3 runs on 6 hits. No errors for either side, so really clean game. Guardians 8-6. And of course, today it was a rematch from opening day in Kansas City. Ben Lively against Cole Reagans. And once again, the Guardians couldn't really touch Cole Reagans for the most part. Now they would get a few runs on a hilarious chain of events that happened, where Daniel Schneemann would hit a ball off the left field side, right? He would hit it to left. They'd field it. They'd throw it in. Perfectly fine. Bobby Witt gets the ball and yeets it to the backstop. Not even close. And then, I didn't even notice this at first, it ricocheted. It bounced off the wall and went to the other side of the backstop. It crossed the backstop. So they had to go chasing after it. And in the meantime, Junk and Schneemann both scored. Got the Guardians on the board early. But then, with Ben Lively, my dude's throwing barely 90 miles per hour. Just know, eventually, they'll lock onto it. You can only get away with sub 90 mile per hour stuff for a little while. Maybe 1 or 2 times through if you're lucky. His stuff just isn't that good. Doesn't have nothing to it. And it would actually be 2-0 for a little bit until Salvador Perez. Surprise, surprise. 2-run homer. Hey. And I tweeted this out. So, I was watching the Cavs. I check my phone and I see on my ESPN fantasy app, home run by Salvador Perez. I'm like, oh, God. And of course, I knew there was a guy on base. I was like, oh, God. Because I watch on Fubo when they're behind. So, yeah. It'd be 2-2. And then next inning, Michael Garcia would bring in two more because and so it'd be 4-2, and that's the way it would stay. Final lines: Cole Reagan, 7 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, one earned because of the error, 10 Ks. Yeah, 2.28 ERA. So he got his lick back from opening day. Ben Lively, 6 innings, so not bad. 7 hits. Like I said, that stuff that he has just doesn't really get past anybody a whole lot. So, yeah, not fun. 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 5 Ks, and a homer. 4.87 ERA for Ben. On the bright side, we won the series. But damn, we could have had a sweep. It would have been a perfect homestand. Against is good. The Royals are a solid team. Hey, not going to win them all, obviously. We're not going to sweep every team in the division, obviously, but it would have been nice. So, final line for overall Guardians, 2 runs on 5 hits. Royals, 4 runs on 9 hits and an error. The win goes to Reagans. He's 1-0, 2.28 ERA. Ben Lively, 0-2 with a 4.87 ERA. Estevez gets his 5th save with a 1.29 ERA. So, with that, Guardians are back on the road, starting on Tuesday. When they head to Baltimore, they have an off day tomorrow for travel, obviously. They will head to Baltimore, where they will face the old man, Charlie. Let's take a look at it too. And then, of course, we up how each pitcher has done. All right. All right. So Logan is 1-0 with a 5.40 So Logan is 1-0 with a 5.40 ERA and 15 Ks. And like I said, my internet wants to troll. Okay. That's cool. My camera's trolling me. My internet's trolling me. Everything is trolling me right now. I don't know what I did to get trolled this bad, but damn. So Logan Allen is coming off a start against the White Sox where he went 4 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 walks, 4 Ks. Did not give up a run. Beautiful ball. Charlie Morton, he's 0-3, of course, coming off a 5-inning, 4-hit, 4-run, 5-walk, 4K performance against Arizona. So they definitely got to him. I like our chances. Rays, oh my God, come on, Amazon. What are we doing here? Damn piece of garbage. You know what? Screw Amazon. I'm not going to watch this. I feel like if I start watching, it's going to freaking mess it up. So Ray says, I'm surprised we did so good this series. Can you do an NBA playoff predictions? That'll be coming probably tomorrow. It works out perfectly because, the Guardians are off. So I'll do a playoff preview. Come on, get stupid remote. God, nothing wants to freaking work for me today. God, I'm going to freaking toss this piece of crap in the freaking garbage. God. Magic Hawks, you got the Hawks winning 114, 108. Grizzlies, Warriors, he says Warriors win 117, 109. Kings, Mavs, you got the Kings winning 112, 97 Mavs. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah. And then Bulls, Heat, he's got the Bulls winning 118, 107. Wow, okay. I'll probably do a little prediction thing tomorrow. Maybe. Either that or I wait until after the, I want to give my play-in predictions, so I'll be doing that tomorrow. So yeah, Morton. Obviously, I need Santana to cook. Get after him. I have Ramon friggin' Lawrence in Baltimore. Well, they are so down bad. They also have Cedric Mullins too. But man, no Anthony Santander. Pity. That dude always cooked us when we played him. Oh well. We'll see him when we play Toronto. Of course. But yeah, should be an interesting one. Henderson and Holiday got to Williams with a couple homers, but that's really it. Against Kramer, well, there really isn't much to talk about there. J-Ram, 2 RBIs. Rocchio and Hedges. We'll have Tanner Bell, of course, we've never faced. So that saves me a little bit of time doing the stat muse thing for the O's. You know, I still got to talk about how they've done. How he's done personally. Now, Tanner, I mean, I literally just talked about his last outing. He was phenomenal again. Of course, we all want to know, how does he do against the O's? Okay, so Tanner got a win in his last start in June last year. He went 6 innings of 5 hit, 1 run, no, I'm sorry, 1 earned, 2 run ball. Not bad. Got the dub. Good stuff. Back in June of last year. Now, of course, Tanner, like I said, he was coming off a rough outing against the Angels, but then he rebounded instantly with 3 hits, 0 runs, 4 walks, 4 Ks against Kansas City. Now, Sagano, on the other hand, let's see how he's done. Moyuki Sagano, who they just added this offseason. I think from Japan. He went 4 2/3, 8 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, no strikeouts against Toronto. That's a yikes. That is a big time yikes. Now against Bibee, only Sanchez has a homer and 5 RBIs. He's the only one that's really done anything besides O'Hearn, who has an RBI. That's it. They've barely faced him. And of course, we've never faced Sagano. Bibee, he's 1-1 with a 4.40 ERA, 10 Ks. Sagano 1-1 with a 3.86 ERA, 5 Ks. Yeah, I think we have a really good chance in this series to at least take 2 out of 3, set the tone on Tuesday, and you go out there, take care of business. You beat up on ground chuck. You turn him into hamburger, and yeah, you let things go as they might, and see what happens. So I'm gonna check on Twitter real quick. I'm actually gonna try it again here because it was rolling the hell out of me earlier. Whoop. I don't know why it wants to troll me now of all times. Number 1? Dude. We've been doing this, scoring like crazy crap earlier. No, we just had to go on that 14-0 scoring drought. Because stinky, that's why. Of course, they go with a different tender. They got Jet Greaves in net 2 times in like 2 games. Literally, he's played 2 games in 2 days. He's been phenomenal for the most part. Also really helps when your offense is ripping out 11 goals in 2 games against the same team. Wow. Big boss. My Josina Anderson says, or tweeted, my source said to call them at the beginning of draft week. Why do I have a feeling next week is going to be nuts when it comes to trades and rumors? Dmitry Voronkov. Wow. Big boss. All right. But for anyone who's curious, when do we play Kansas City again? Well, let's take a look, shall we? Let's take a peek. Take a look. It's in a book. Yeah. So Kansas City played them just not recently. Not in May or June. We played them almost at the end of July. Right around the trade deadline. 2:15 to go. 4-on-4. Guardians. Blue Jackets up 4-1. Wow. Wow. Okay, so July 25th, 2025. 25th, 6th, and 7th on the road. And then not in August. And then September, we have a 4-gamer. Beginning of August, beginning of September. And then that's it. God, we only have 2 more series against these guys this year. And again, we don't play them until July. And who knows what this team will look like by then. Bieber will most likely be back. We might even have John Means. And who knows who else pops in. Maybe John Brito. Juan Brito. Maybe Travis Pizzana. I mean, imagine. Maybe Chase Delauder, too. Ooh, baby, that'd be awesome. Oh, boy. But, yeah, I think this is going to wrap it up. I'm going to watch the ending of this Capitals Blue Jackets game. It looks like the Blue Jackets are going to have this. Third period up 4-1, 1:15 to go. For anyone wondering why am I caring about this so much? Well, the Blue Jackets are the only team in the East outside of the playoff seeds right now who has not been eliminated, which is insane. Man, if I'm the Blue Jackets, I'm using this as a big time motivator for the front office and that heading into the offseason, knowing that if this team could have just stayed healthy like this, they would have been a playoff team. They're going to look back at that 14-0 drought where they could not score for crap for like 3 games. They do well in those games. They're in the playoffs right now, most likely. They were literally just about to catch New Jersey for the number 3 seed in the Metro. And then they hit a big ass speed bump, or I guess spike strips, and they died. Remaining schedule. Oh my God. Philly and New York. Ooh, Tuesday and Thursday. I just hope we come out here playing like this. Because if we do, all we got to do is just keep winning and hope that the Montreal Canadiens lose. Who do the Habs play later? Because they don't play tonight. Who do they play tomorrow? Oh, they play Chicago. Oh, God. Leave it to Chicago to freaking sell. I think they only have 1 more game after that, don't they? I think they only have 2 games left. We have like 3, I think. Well, they have today and then 2. I think they only have 2 games left. They're 39, 31, and 10. So that's 70. Yeah, they only have 2 games left. We have 2 more. Ooh. And they play April 14th. So, ooh, damn. They're only going to have 1 game between our 2. I swear to God, if it comes down to that final game against the Islanders, because we're 3 points back of them. If they had just lost last night in regulation, we would have been a game back. Just 1 game. Yeah, just 1. We would have been 1 game back of the Habs for the final wild card. But no, Toronto couldn't score on them. I need Connor Bedard to go crazy tomorrow. We need the Blackhawks to go try hard mode tomorrow. Because then we play Philly and they play Carolina. Oh, I need Carolina to cook. Oh, I need them to cook. Then they play Carolina on the 16th. And then we play the 17th. Oh my God, dude. There's a legit chance it comes down to the Islanders game. The spirit of Johnny is truly with us. And I know he is. He would sabotage the Habs. Or habitage. And they would completely get shut out the next 2 games. They do not score a goal. They go through what we went through. They don't score for crap. And we just erupt against the Flyers and the Islanders. Ironically, the two teams that wanted Johnny, or at least one of the two of the teams that wanted Johnny so much. They wanted him so bad. And of course, we face them to wrap up the year. Crazy is that? Of course, one loss for the Jackets and it's a wrap, but just the fact that the Blue Jackets are even in this spot is insane. I mean, before the season began, I was talking like, oh yeah, we're a fringe wild card team. It's talking like, at best, if everything goes well, they can definitely make a run. Didn't expect this. Did not expect this at all. First year with Dean Evison, after the nightmares that were the last two seasons, with essentially fake head coaches. The whole Babcock thing again, stupid. I don't know why they did that. Ron Waddell takes over and he immediately brings in Dean, and boom, this team actually looks much better. And the best part is, regardless if we win these next two and we somehow slip into the wild card, or if we win and the Canadians win, all it takes is the Habs to win tomorrow. That's all it takes. Habs to win tomorrow, and it's over. I'd still try to win. Screw that. Screw that. Because it's like the Blue Jackets can use this as motivation for next year, knowing they're that close. Maybe that'll add a little bit of pressure. They can't just sit back and rest on the laurels like, whatever. Yeah. No, you go out and you add some pieces to this team. Maybe you make some changes at goaltender because Jet Greaves is looking great. Maybe you say bye-bye to Tarasov and maybe even Elvis, but I think Elvis sticks. But maybe go Jet and Elvis next year at tender. And then maybe you add another scorer and some other help on defense and stuff. Right? Because all I'm just going to say is if we had Johnny, we're probably in the playoffs right now because that dude could score in his sleep. That's how good of a scorer he was. But, the whole thing happened. Yeah. But yeah, the Blue Jackets win. So they're good. Now we'll have to stress out over Chicago tomorrow. Hopefully Chicago can help us out. Keep us alive. And we got to take care of our business too. So and that's going to wrap it up for this one, guys. And I will definitely see y'all maybe Tuesday for some basketball. I might do Magic and Hawks. Maybe. I'm thinking about it. I'm going to do that game. And then Wednesday, trying to think. Do I do the Wednesday games? The 8-9 matchups? I'm not doing Heat and Bulls. Mavs and Kings would be interesting, though. I might do that game. Yeah, Mavs and Kings. And then, of course, for the 8th place matchups, I'm just going to be doing the one that features the team that could be facing the Cavs. Yeah, so that's how things are going to go. All right? So, yeah, in case you were wondering, I'm probably going to be doing one game a day during this round just to keep myself busy. And then, of course, if anything happens in the NFL, or whatever, I'll be doing videos on that. Because you never know with Andrew Berry and company, they could always add a piece or two. It's the way they are. You never, ever know. So, Montreal wins in any fashion Monday against Chicago. Blue Jackets are done. If Montreal loses, Blue Jackets will remain alive. Method of loss will determine how Columbus must win. Bottom line is they got to win out. Wow. It's 11-1 aggregate the last 2 days. Jet Greaves stopped 51 of 52 shots in 2 games. Adam Fantilli had 4 goals in 2 games. Staying alive, staying alive. Ha, 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 staying alive. Yeah, the Blue Jackets are actually a solid team. And just think about what we could be like next year if we could stay healthy and maybe add a piece or two in free agency. Because I know they will. I know they're gonna try. You know, Dean. He'll coach these guys up real nice, and then Don's gonna build us a good ass team because that's the way he is. So, with that being said, I will definitely see you guys probably Tuesday. Like I said, I'm probably gonna do Magic Hawks on Tuesday, and then I'll do Mavs and Kings on Wednesday, and then we'll see what the matchup is in the West. But I'm definitely doing the 7-8 or the 8th seed matchup for the East. If we get like Warriors and Mavs, I'm probably going to end up doing it, but we'll see. We'll see what it looks like. So, with that being said, guys, I will see y'all Tuesday. As always, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell, and yeah, it was a fun weekend. At least the Blue Jackets won, and the crew are doing pretty good too. Yeah. So, see you guys later. I'm Crazy Dog. Let's go Guardians, Blue Jackets, crew, and Cavs. Yeah. See you guys later. I'm out. Bye-bye. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.